Tap, tap. Timing. Listen, I'm a bit of a spazaroo. I know, I'm aware. My brain just does its own thing. I'm kind of along for the ride. Exhausting passenger seat. Yes. Anyway, children are haunted. You know. Hello, Star Boys. I am back. I'm making a short video. Just for you guys, really. You know, not for anyone else. I don't have a secret other channel. I'm making a short video to let you know I'm back and that I'll be working on another video soon. But this video is about answering some questions I get frequently and, I don't know, tips and tricks and stuff. I thought it would be kind of fun. On the screen, right now, where I didn't have a lot of stuff moving around for a bit, are a bunch of Star Boys. And this is the type of Star Boy that most people have. Some people have the ones, oh, right here. Some people have these. These. Label came off, but they're chunky Star Boys. I see people using them a lot. They send me TikToks, they send me YouTube replies, you know, Instagram. I get people on Instagram, and they say they got them off Amazon like I told them to. And in their videos, I see some things that I feel like maybe I should clarify about how they're used. That was a good intro. That was a good beginning opening. I am good at this. Do you like my punk old lady gloves? I love my punk old lady gloves. They keep my fingers compressed. This is movie magic. Movie magic will take care of this. Oof. Oop, oop, oop. I don't have any place to put it. I put other stuff where they were. Oh, I'm not organized. I am a mess. The holidays left me a mess, as I'm sure it did to many of you. We're gonna do this in one try. Oops, almost dropped it. One try. Success! This is vaguely confused history. So one of the things I see a lot is people letting their wax bubble. There are reasons you probably shouldn't let your wax bubble. And I will go over those in just a moment after I grab some Star Boys to stick in this spoon. So one of the reasons your Star Boys might bubble when they're melting is because your flame is too high. Sometimes, especially with new candles, the flame can be very tall. This one's getting pretty up there. In that case, I normally snip the wick a little bit. I know it's tempting to use a bigger candle, or if you're not using a furnace like I did at the beginning, to put your spoon bottom on the flame or in the flame at the tip of the flame, which is one of the hottest parts of the flame, if you didn't know. I have a video about that I might put somewhere like right there. Right there. But you shouldn't do that, because these Star Boys in most modern sealing wax are made of plastics, which I explained in my first wax recipe video about researching plastics and how dangerous it is to melt them. They're made of plastics that are normally safe, but they do release chemicals. One in particular, which I will put on the screen because I don't have my notes about it in front of me, but that one isn't good, you know, to breathe in large quantities or anything like that. And the bubbling means that it's releasing it, possibly more of it than it would be if it weren't bubbling. And there are people who have sensitivity to it. It'll make them dizzy and stuff, so we don't want that. You have to be well ventilated. You know, don't huff your wax. Don't huff your wax. Huffing stuff in general is bad. You know, even in chemistry, when you're using chemicals you're supposed to waft. You know, you do you can't see my hands, but like a royal wave at your face. That made sense. Did I earlier say children are haunted? Children are haunted. My older sister's youngest son, who's 4, sleeps in a completely pitch black room. I've never met a 4-year-old who does that. Maybe you guys know a 4-year-old that does that, but I don't know a 4-year-old that does that. When I was younger, I slept in a room as bright as the surface of the sun because I was terrified of the dark. Oop, and I was not looking, and it's bubbling. I'm gonna set my gloves on fire. The second reason you don't want it to bubble is because it will get very liquidy, and you don't want it to be very liquidy all the time. That's not always good. because it will run around and it won't collect the way you want, especially if you're doing it on a letter, like an actual envelope. It'll run everywhere, it'll damage the paper more. Nobody wants damaged letters. Got my furnace in my own way. Nope. Spilling wax. I spilled wax. I'm a demon. Well, that's fine. I'm hoping this video will only be a few minutes so I can get it edited and out to you faster and start working on the next one. But I know me. I know it might be more than 5 or 6 minutes, hopefully under 10. We'll see. We'll see. I have no self-control. That's how I ended up with so much stuff, because that's what being an adult is. Buying things you don't need. Don't take that to heart. Ooh, me giving bad advice. This is bad advice with deets. Vaguely confused people give bad advice. And a good stamp. See, that was the perfect consistency. It didn't spread out too much. If you get too liquidy because you let it bubble, it's easier on stone, honestly. Because the stone is cold. I live in Maine, so maybe, I don't know, maybe your stone's warmer than mine, but it's colder and it stops it from spreading really fast. Unlike, say, paper. You know, not good. Ah, card captors. We'll color this later. When you're done, and you have, don't burn yourself. When you're done, and you have this little pile of stuff. Little pile of wax. Little pile of liquidy Star Boys. One of the things you can do is you can take a tool, like I have these. These are medical tools. I think there's another video that I might find and put up on the screen that shows you where I got them. That video has a link in the description maybe, or I just put it on the screen. I don't remember. I gotta remember to do this stuff. What I do is I take the very hot wax and I scrape it out onto my stone. Make a little drop boy. Just a tiniest little drop. And then when the drop boy is like solidified, you can just pop them off. Put them in your bowl of drop boys that I'm sure you have, like me, because I'm definitely not a little crazy when it comes to this stuff. And then, as people have asked me many times, and I've covered this topic before, but I'm going to do it again, you clean your spoon. And you clean your spoon by just wiping it with paper towel while it's still hot, and not setting it on fire with your furnace. Really, the goal is not to set your anything on fire. This brings me to my next topic. Black spoon. Black bottom of spoon. Everyone is always like, how do I get the black off? You don't. It's just life. You can wipe it off. It gets sooty. You want to wipe the soot off. This one didn't have a lot of soot on it. You get soot. See, like, this is no soot. I rubbed it all over, no soot. And that's because I didn't put my spoon in the flame. If you're getting a really sooty spoon, you know, you're probably putting it too close to the if you're getting a really sooty spoon, you're probably putting it too close to the too close to the flame. That's what I'm trying to say. Too close to the flame. This is a mess. But it will turn black, regardless. It will turn black regardless. I stumbled because my brain went irregardless, right? And I was, no, that's not a word. I'm gonna have to correct myself on screen if I'm wrong. So my next video I'm hoping will be a new wax recipe. I have a clear base, and I say clear, it's actually translucent, but it's white. It doesn't have any yellow, but it's completely synthetic, so prepare for that. If you're into something more natural, my first wax recipe, which might also be on screen, who knows what I'm going to do at any given moment, that is mostly natural except for the hot glue in it. In the future, I might do my completely natural one, which is actually a traditional wax seal recipe that does the whole snap thing, but can also be used outside if you want to do cool nature videos like I've done before, because it's completely food grade. It's like resins and beeswax and stuff. I probably have like a handful, and by handful I mean like 1 to 4 Patreon people who are supposed to be getting a credit. So I'm going to toss them up at the end. I'm not going to be at the end of this video because I'm trying to keep it short. So here are the Patreon people. Thank you for your patronage as my patrons on Patreon. Clever. Go me. See you next time. Sometimes when I'm in the shower for some reason, you know, shower thoughts. You get shower thoughts. I don't know what it is about shower. But sometimes all I can think about is like existing not that I do exist, but like the nature of existence. Or like, think about my hands, how my hands are my hands. But I don't always like think about how they're my hands. They're just unconsciously there. I'm controlling them all the time. Like earlier when I was like, oh, my brain just does what it wants and I am along for the ride. That's me. I am my brain. So that's my brain observing itself. That's me observing my brain, which is me. Which is weird. It's weird.